Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Emulsion. In case this is your first time of seeing me, so today we're going to be doing an introduction to screen printing, and I'm going to be sharing everything about screen printing. So this is going to be like a series of videos, and this is the first part where I share with you every material that you need for screen printing. Now, screen printing can be used to print on your outfits, it can be used to print on nylons, on plastic, literally on anything. And there are different types of printing actually, but this video is not to talk about the different types of printing. This video is specifically for screen printing. I'm going to go into printing and every other textile production method later on in my channel. So what you have to do is subscribe so that I don't go away. You watch this video and you get to see more of me when I upload videos. You'll be notified. Yep. So let's start with the first and most important thing that you need for screen printing is your mesh. Now there are different types of mesh and there are different sizes of mesh. These are the two sizes that I have. So the mesh, there is fine mesh and there is open mesh. This is fine mesh. I don't know if you can see this very well. The holes are very tiny compared to this. Now I've used this before. I used this for my assignments in school. I have a vlog on my channel where I did an assignment where they gave us, an assignment to print any design we want on a t-shirt, and we submitted it and it doubled as one of our examination projects. So that's by the way. So this mesh is not the fine mesh, it's the open mesh, and it is used to print on fabric. This is open mesh. It is used to print on plastic or on nylons. Now the reason why fine mesh is used majorly for nylons and stuff is because fine mesh has like very tiny holes, so the possibility of your ink splashing away or not coming out the way it is supposed to be is very low. Now you get to understand as the video goes on, or as the series of my videos goes on. So let's move on to the next thing that we need. So the next thing that we would need is our squeegee. This is squeegee. There are different types of squeegee actually. There are some that are more fancier than this, but this is what I have. So you use this to wipe your ink when you want to like coat, when you want to like transfer what you have on here to what you have underneath, maybe your fabric or your nylon. So you use your squeegee for that. The next thing is going to be our emulsion. Now this is the emulsion. This is what it looks like actually. I just bought this. I did not buy the one that has the whole container. The whole container is like 6,000 naira. And this size is quite small, so I'm going to transfer it into something that I have here. So the next thing we're going to need is a dichromate or sensitizer. So you mix your emulsion and your dichromate together to coat your mesh. So this blue thingy that you can see on my mesh is as a result of a mixture of these two. Then the next thing that we would need is like this mesh that I've used. I can clean it and make it white again and use it for another project. This is a design that has been exposed. We call this thing you can see here exposure. It has been exposed already. So for you to clean it, you're going to need your IPO. So all you just do is to pour your IPO all over it. You pour your IPO and then you allow the IPO to sit for about 5 minutes or as long as you want, and then you wash with detergent. Then after you've washed with detergent, it should mostly be clean by then, but in case you're still seeing maybe spots of the ink, then you can now use what we call a retarder to wash it off. Now a retarder is this, the odor is like a bit strong, so you have to be very careful when you're using your retarder. So another thing is, maybe when you're working on this, you want to clean off this paint. I've used red here. Now maybe I want to use it on another nylon and I don't want red. You can use your retarder to clean off this paint. You can see the red one. I mean, I've used the retarder to clean this off. You won't see this here, or if immediately I was done using my mesh, I had washed it off, you will just see that these parts that are red are going to be white. So the next thing that you would need is a sellotape or a paper tape, but I prefer sellotape because sellotape has, I think, more strength and it sticks to the mesh better compared to paper tapes. I don't have a paper tape here, so I can't show you that. Now let's assume I just want to apply my paint using only this thingy that I have here, this exposure. Now one thing with paint is, when you apply your paint, your ink that you use to print on your product, sometimes the ink might seep from here, and when it seeps, it might come out and seep onto what you're printing, and it's going to mess up your work. So you use sellotape to just clean off the edge. You can cut it. This one has touched the head of the person that's here, so you can literally cut it to the size you want, you know, clean it. Or you want this part to be red, you want this part to be black, you can use your tape to sellotape here all through. Paint, use this one as black, then you sellotape here with the back as well, and then you remove the sellotape you have here and you make this black. It might not really make sense right now until you start doing the practicals and you start seeing the videos. So that is that about sellotape. You would need glove actually, just so that it doesn't mess up your hand. The emulsion that stained my hand earlier, I had gone to use soap to wash it off. But I mean, I had a glove, maybe those disposable ones, something I would just easily remove and dispose of. Then you're also going to need kerosene or vegetable oil. Now this is my kerosene. It looks quite similar to retarder. There are times when kerosene will look yellowish. It depends on where you buy your kerosene from actually. So you really can't predict what your kerosene will look like. So what I did to differentiate is that my retarder doesn't have this Mr. V brand and my kerosene has, and once I smell it, in fact, I'll be able to differentiate. So this is kerosene. You can either use kerosene or vegetable oil for exposure of your artwork. Do you understand? But I prefer kerosene. There was a time I used vegetable oil, and I think I burnt my mesh because then I was still like in the process of figuring out screen printing and everything, so I made like quite a lot of mistakes. So another thing you're going to need is a foam or sponge. I don't have a sponge here, but I have a sponge in my bathroom. I have one that I don't use for anything. I just use it to wash off whatever that I have here. So you're going to need a sponge, a soft one, though not very harsh. You're going to need hand dryer. I don't have an hand dryer right now. I don't even have any in my house actually. The reason why you need hand dryer is when you apply your emulsion and sensitizer, these two, and you mix it together and you apply it on your mesh, you have to wait for it to dry up before you can proceed to the next step. Now, instead of you to wait for like a few hours, or sometimes depending on how bad the weather is, you might have to wait for a whole day to the next day before you're able to continue. You can easily just use your hand dryer to dry it off, and trust me, like 10-15 minutes you're good to go and you can move on to the next step sharp. So getting an hand dryer, I'm going to put that into my budget, but it's not in my budget right now, but that's by the way. Another thing you would need is your ink. Now these are some of the inks that I've used previously. It's advisable for you to put your inks in containers like this. I don't have a lot of those containers, so I'm just going to make do with it. So I try my best to make sure that the mouth is not very exposed. This is white ink. Don't mind the stain. Another stain in my hand. Don't mind the stain. This is blue. And you also have to like be very careful. Your emulsion sometimes can look like your paint. This is paint. This is paint. It's not emulsion. So you have to be very careful. So the best thing, don't be like me, put them in containers, or when you want to go and buy them, carry containers along so they can pour directly into those containers, because the leftover you still have from your nylons is a waste, because you might not be able to get everything off your nylon. And then the next thing you need is your artwork. For the artwork, I am going to go into the archive of what I submitted for my exam. Yeah, so this is it. So this is an artwork. So this is what gave me what you guys can see here. This is it. Can you see? So the parts that are black are the parts that becomes white, that allows for ink to penetrate. So the major work of this emulsion and sensitizer is to make sure that ink doesn't penetrate in these parts that are blue, but ink will be able to penetrate on the parts that are white. So basically that's it. Now, in case you have maybe like for your brand, for mine, I'm going to be redesigning another one, and I'm going to show you a video of how I am going to redesign, you know, what I'm going to print on nylon for my brand. So in case you can just keep your artwork. Actually, let's assume you have a clothing brand that you're building, and you have something that you've customized that you put on all your t-shirts. You can have it in a paper like this, and you keep your paper safe whenever you're done using them, so your artworks are reusable. Or you can have a separate mesh where it has that stuff you've exposed, your artwork, it has it on it, so whenever, however, you can always come back to reprint just like that. So I think that is basically all that you need for your screen printing. Okay, yes, one last thing, you're going to need a Teflon cover. If you're printing on fabrics, the ink is, yeah, that reminds me, the ink I have here is plastisol. There are two types of ink. There's plastisol and there's water-based ink. Now I'm going to do a separate video to talk about the two difference and which one is better and which one is, you know, the best for you to use in like various printing works. But this one is plastisol. Now plastisol is like way, don't let me spill the tea. Let me do another video for that one. Now for plastisol, for fabrics, you don't have to iron all the time though, but I prefer that I iron. Now once you have put what you want on your fabric, then you can iron on it. Now instead of me to iron directly, there's no electricity, so I'm going to be using this, my stove iron, as practical. Instead of you to iron directly on your fabric, just put the Teflon cover on it and iron it, so that way it dries faster. I think it adheres more into the strands of the fabric that you just printed on, blah blah blah, like that. Do you understand? So, but this is optional, you don't have to, but I prefer to. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've learned something. So what you have to do is just go to my channel. My name is Oluwatife. So go to my channel, Oluwatife, and you go to the playlist section and you're going to see the screen printing videos that I'm going to be doing. So once I upload to my channel, I put it in the screen printing playlist, so that way whenever I have a new video, you can always come back and check that playlist and see what I have that's new. I'll do my best to create a video at least once or twice in a week, so I'll make it as frequent as possible. So everything you need to know on screen printing, I'm going to be sharing with you. Everything I know, I'm going to share with you. So if you have any questions that you want me to answer, or anything in particular that you want me to talk about, you can put it in the comment section or send me a DM on Instagram. My Instagram is Oluwatife, so you can send me a DM there and I will respond to all your comments. Basically, thank you so much for watching to the end. If you actually stuck to the end, thank you. You are a real MVP. I love you. Thank you, and subscribe to my channel, please. Yeah. So in case you have any questions, don't forget you can send me a DM on Instagram. On Instagram. My Instagram is Oluwatife. Same on TikTok as well, same username. If you have any questions or something in particular that you'd want me to do a video on, all you have to do is just drop it in the comment section here or on Instagram, and I will do a video, or I will do my best to answer you. If it's something that I can talk about immediately, I'll do my best to answer you. So thank you so much. See you in another video. Bye.